Incorporeal Lifeforms, Part 2 of our discussion. Beings may acquire the means of converting matter into photons, measurable in joules. The energy yielded could be calculated through the E equals mc squared equation. For example, a 50-kilogram person could convert his atoms into 5 times 10 to the 19th joules of energy. This is 5 times 10 to the 17th joules per pound, or 10 to the 18th joules per kilogram. For reference, an average lightning bolt is 10 to the 9th joules, or 1 billion joules, and powering New York City for a year would use about 10 to the 17th joules. Any species that could convert matter into energy and control it would eventually obtain omnipotence. A controlled conversion of matter into photons is possible. To keep these particles from saturating everything around, however, an electromagnetic containment field would need to be generated. The joules produced would be electromagnetic radiation, meaning photons, so creating a containment field should not be a complicated issue for these beings. The question is, what device would these incorporeal beings use to convert matter into the least common denominator, which are photons? An artificial or biologically modified mitochondria may be a futuristic possibility, but to me, anything remotely resembling a device could never handle the release of the nuclear strong force. In some extraterrestrial novels and stories, space aliens have anti-gravity technology. They can neutralize and even reverse gravity. In some stories, even Superman has this ability so he can fly. A perfect scenario is if incorporeal beings could apply the same anti-force ability to the strong nuclear force and release strong nuclear force in a fine-tuned procedure. This is very plausible. The weak nuclear force is an example. This force breaks down elements peacefully, without the explosions typical of atomic bombs. Humans may be only a few hundred years away from nuclear force manipulation. This could be our pathway to incorporeal existence. A less evolved possibility is incorporeal beings creating miniature fusion reactions within themselves. A containment field would be necessary to protect the surrounding environment from electrons and other charged particles. I'm sure advanced societies could contain the energy and redigest the unused particles that were ejected. Still, will any species, including humans, ever reach an incorporeal nature if they don't know what energy is? And at the present, no one knows what energy is. What we call energy, cosmic rays, gamma rays, and any radiation, is a misconception. We're really experiencing energy, whether electromagnetic, strong or weak, as it's carried in its vehicles. In other words, photons, gluons, W bosons, and Higgs bosons are the carriers of energy. They are not the actual energy. Beings made of photons would be beings made of energy carriers, not pure energy. That may cause a problem with eternal existence and maintaining sapience. I think beings composed of photons would soon find that manipulating this energy carrier would be burdensome and restrictive. The highest evolved level would be beings made of pure energy. Then what is energy and what is its source? My video, What is Existence, tries to answer that question. To be brief, there is the lowest common denominator, which is time. The substance that is time is interdimensional and transcends Planck length. Movement through time creates energy, and some of that energy is converted into matter. Time can even move through itself to create energy. A being composed of time would therefore have the benefits of infinite energy through generating this energy from its own body. And in this instance, a containment field would not be necessary. Think of the implications. Time beings would be interdimensional, just as time is. These entities could exist everywhere at once since they are part of the time continuum, or at least at all moments they're connected to it. Let's put it another way. Time is the substrate of existence. Time has no future events etched into it. Maybe past events can be revisited, but we don't know the nature of time to know if anything can be indelibly etched into it. Time is not composed of photons, quarks, or even strings. It is what these subatomic particles are made of. What is time made of? Right now we don't know, but maybe someday we will. I'm reluctant to point this out, but while viewing time as a substrate, we're seeing it as the point where science, reason, and faith merge. Time could be interpreted as the Spirit of God. And this is as far as we'll go. As far as Star Trek's Dowd, Organians, and Q, they're entities of time. They are interdimensional and they can exist everywhere at once. I hope you'll tune in for our next discussion. Thank you for watching.